For 75 years, the United States and Pakistan have been stuck in this complicated dance. They can't seem to fix their partnership, but they also can't just walk away. So in this explainer, we're going to dig into the work of Daniel S. Markey to break down why this alliance is so full of tension and why, for the sake of global security, there really is no exit. And this question, it really gets to the heart of the whole thing. We're not talking about a simple diplomatic spout here. This is a super high-stakes entanglement between two nuclear-armed countries. How they manage this broken trust has profound, and I mean profound, implications for the entire world. Okay, so to really get a handle on this dynamic, we have to start with the fundamental question. Why can't they just call it quits? Well, it turns out walking away just isn't an option for either of them. The whole relationship is built on this foundation of shared unavoidable risk. The core concept here is something called mutual vulnerability, and it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's the idea that what happens in Pakistan definitely does not stay in Pakistan. Its internal problems, from economic instability to political chaos, they have a direct and really serious impact on American interests, whether Washington likes it or not. So for the US, the stakes are just huge. There are basically three big things Washington is always worried about. First, you've got the ongoing threat of terrorism coming from that region. Second, and this is a big one, is the critical need to make sure Pakistan's nuclear arsenal is secure. And third, there's the whole geopolitical chess match with China and India. When you put all that together, Pakistan's internal stability isn't just a nice to have, it's a core American security interest. Okay, so if the stakes are that high, you might be wondering, why is the relationship such a mess? Well, that brings us to the historical problem, what Markey calls the transactional trap. A huge part of the problem has been the American approach. Historically, it's been transactional. Think short-sighted deals focused on immediate military goals. And what that creates is an unreliable, inconsistent partnership. The alternative? A strategic approach. This means thinking long-term, focusing on building real foundational stability by investing in Pakistan's civilian society. So here's the crucial point. This pattern of short-sighted transactional deals has just created this endless cycle of frustration and deep mistrust on both sides. It's a cycle that's defined the relationship for decades, and according to this analysis, it's a mistake that simply cannot be repeated. But let's flip the script for a second. How does this American approach actually feel on the ground in Pakistan? Well, the consequences of this flawed transactional partnership run deep. This phrase right here, a fair-weather friend, it just perfectly captures the general feeling among so many ordinary Pakistanis. Not a committed ally, but a partner who only shows up when they need something and then disappears the moment the immediate crisis is over. It's this powerful and widespread feeling of just being used. And where does that feeling come from? Well, there's this belief that U.S. policy was never truly about Pakistan itself. It was always driven by other events, the Cold War, the war in Afghanistan, 9/11. U.S. aid often propped up unelected military rulers because the priority was always short-term security goals, not the long-term welfare of the Pakistani people. So, this brings us to the proposed solution. How do you break this toxic cycle? The analysis suggests a pretty radical pivot, away from the old, broken model and toward a new path forward, investing in genuine, long-term stability. The urgency for this new approach is crystal clear when you look at the immense internal pressures Pakistan is facing. We're talking about a lack of money for basic development, massive population growth, huge environmental challenges, and just crippling debt. Any one of these could threaten the stability of the entire state with ripple effects across the whole region. So the proposed policy shift is a fundamental change in focus. It means moving away from that military-first approach and instead investing directly in the social fabric of the country, things like health and education. It means actively supporting civilian, democratic institutions. And maybe most importantly, it requires a credible, long-term commitment to the people of Pakistan, not just its leaders. The ultimate goal here is to completely transform the relationship. It's about moving beyond this fragile transactional arrangement and building a sustainable partnership based on something that has been missing for decades, mutual respect and a shared interest in long-term stability. Finally, let's zoom all the way out to the broader geopolitical picture, because this isn't just about two countries. The future of this relationship exists inside a much larger and, frankly, a much more dangerous framework. This is the key concept for understanding what comes next: the strategic quadrilateral. It refers to the deeply interconnected and often conflicting interests of four major nuclear powers, all focused on the heart of Asia. That's the US, China, India, and Pakistan. Just think about the sheer scale of this. By the middle of this century, these four nations are projected to be the most populous countries in the world. They are all nuclear powers, and all of their strategic interests collide in this one region. The concentration of people, economic power, and military might is just staggering. So you see, the US-Pakistan relationship just can't be managed in a vacuum. Successfully navigating the complex, competing interests of these four nuclear powers is absolutely essential for peace, not just in the region, but for the entire world. And that leaves us with the final critical question. The path forward seems clear: shift from short-term transactions to long-term investment. But after 75 years of dysfunction and such deep-seated mistrust, is a new strategy actually enough? Or are these two nations just destined to repeat the mistakes of the past? It's a question with no easy answer.